Independent grind, powered by Tech Nine.
Joining us now is New York's own Demo. How are you, man? Happy New Year. How was your New Year?
What's going on, man? Happy New Year, man. Everything was good, man. Just, cooled out with the family, the friends and everything. Set up the New Year 2019 for the takeover.
Are you a big New Year's guy? Like I'm kind of over it. Do you party a lot? Like what was your celebration like?
No, my celebration was a bottle of honey and like 3 splits to the face. I was solo the whole time. I'm an introvert to the highest level.
How does that affect? Like, I'm curious because I'm kind of the same way. But like rapping and stuff. I mean, is that weird to get on stage and like as an introvert, or is it kind of like a release for you? How do you navigate rap as an introvert?
I mean, I think like I have like an on and off switch. Like I'm able to be around people, have conversations, and deal with people, and then at the same time, like enjoy my time to myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Word. Well, let's get right into the music. Had a big year last year. Dropped like a bunch of music. First, let's start with the album, Nahforreal. Tell us a little bit about that one. When you decided to how long it took to make it, that kind of stuff.
Oh man, well, I mean, to be honest, the process of making it wasn't really that long. It was probably like 2-3 months. We just like kind of had a bunch of songs that we like put together like a collage. Nahforreal was just basically like a statement tape. Like, I felt like we ain't dropped nothing in 2 years since Out of Body Experience, OBE, and it was like we need to prove a point. Like, yeah, we really here for real. Nah, for real. We really that dude. We really got it. We really know how to, we're doing what we're doing for real. So just a reminder for the people, and that's the reason why we did it unexpected for like the fans who've been rocking with us from day one. And yeah, for sure.
I know you're sort of releasing music in between them, but what was that wait like to wait sort of like 2 years to drop a project? How did that like, what was that for you? Was it frustrating? Did you grow a lot in that period?
Yeah, both. I mean, it was frustrating because, like, I didn't, me as an natural artist, I want to be able to put out music and people to cherish it and stuff. At the same time, you have, like, life and stuff that, like, kind of takes over a lot, so you have to deal with that. But, yeah, it was in between that, kind of, like, dealing with the things that I had to deal with, mixed with still creating, but being upset that I couldn't really put out things the way that I wanted to. And then it wasn't until the end of the year, November 2018, last year, when we put out Nahforreal, where I felt like it was like the most perfect time, the most clear time for me to release some shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously you say we a lot. I'm curious. I know you got the Ultra Nostra collective kind of thing going. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, who's that? Who's the we? I guess in your camp.
Yeah, I have. I start off with like the music division. It's like, Rizzy 2 Times, good friend of mine, producer, Pacino the Plug, producer engineer, Xavier X, Ultra Nostra X. He's like, close friend of mine, like PR, AR, everyday, just like person who deals with things. Frank, who deals with PR as well. He has like the dope app and publication site, the Daily Gems, which is really dope. And then just like a whole bunch of people who I done dealt with, and then just built with this for a while. I created Ultra Nostra, I want to say like 2009, 10. So like it's a long process thing. It's a bunch of people part of it, and yeah, it's a collective.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it helps being in New York, where like it's so, because people talk about like New York and LA are being the 2 hotspots for hip hop. Do you like think that's the case? Like, was just being around those people? Was it just meeting them? Like just being in New York?
Hell yeah! I mean, like the work gets delegated all across the U.S. Like right now, motherfucking probably like Atlanta is probably the one right now. Like Atlanta's going crazy. It's a dope place to be for like music and like creativity. But yeah, New York will always be the Mecca. That's where it started. LA started their own kind of vibe of it, like the gangster rap. So yeah, LA and New York is always gonna be it. But I'm happy that I'm here in New York. Mobb Deep said it the best though. New York got a nigga depressed, man. New York, like with all of this like cold weather and hating ass people. I don't know if I can curse. Can I curse?
Yeah, you can curse. Fuck yeah.
All right, yeah, all the hating ass people and stuff like that, like, it's depressive. You don't like going places because, like, just people just have like bitter opinions and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So crazy vibe out here in the music scene.
Well, you just mentioned Mobb Deep, and I wanted to ask you because I know you're from the Bronx. Like, what's it like being from where hip hop was literally started? Like, do you feel that deep connection with hip hop's roots? Like, I'm curious, like, who you grew up on.
Yeah, no, I grew up on definitely Big Pun. Big Pun lives like around the corner down the block from where I grew up. So a lot of people talk about him. That's my favorite rapper, period. And I got Wu-Tang. I grew up on Camp Low, Black Moon, a bunch of old school stuff. Like a lot of people who I grew up around was like real hip hop purists, because so they was from, where I'm from, the Bronx, Soundview, specifically Bronxdale. Bronxdale is like a big part, African Bombada and everything from like Zulu Nation. Everything is from this area, Bronx River, Bronxdale. So it's a lot of history over here. Surprisingly, it's really not crazy like stuff with history, like the people, like you won't see like your legends walking around or like the people walking around. Yeah, surprisingly, but yeah, it still holds a lot of culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you obviously know your shit. You were talking like all just name dropping old heads like left and right. I'm curious what you think of, because you have you know that history, but your sound isn't like you have kind of a newer, more modern sound mixed with that old flavor. How do you feel? What do you think about like sort of like that old head versus new generation kind of debate? Where like, do you think it's important?
It's dumb as hell. Yeah, shit is dumb as shit. It's silly, but I mean, I can understand it. Like the older heads having the highest standard for hip hop than the younger dudes. The younger dudes looking at it more like a money play, and the older dudes looking at it like something that they helped build. I know like just when 90s hip hop was going on, money wasn't getting circulated that much too crazy. So it was like a fight. Nah, I mean it was for like the 2000s, like early 2000s. I'm thinking early 80s, 90s. Like money wasn't getting circulated like that. Like 2000s and stuff. That's when them crazy big budgets, $1 million and shit was getting cut or whatever. And that's kind of like the reason why these kids today want to get into it, because they see like, the progression of it and the kids who's fucking with it now or whatever. But I think the old heads is just a little bitter about like the way the kids is maneuvering freely. The kids today moves freely. Like they do what they want. They come, they put out a song in their house, and the next thing you know, they perform around 100,000 people, compared to like in the 90s where you had to talk to 100,000 people on the street before they would actually come to your show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think it's important to have that? Because I think a lot of it also comes from like, the newer heads, the new kids not knowing that history and that stuff. But you obviously know your history. Like, was that something you were like, you just grew up on in the newer, or did you feel like you had to study it almost to become a rapper?
No, it was natural for me. I mean, the people who I was around, like my father raps, my aunt sings, all my uncles, I got like 7 uncles, all of them rap. So I was been around it. I've been around it my whole life. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like understood the value from day one. But yeah, it was for me doing my like own little due diligence, like trying to see like how people move and what moves people or whatever. So like I realized that, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from, you know?
Yeah, you said your family is it all into music? I'm curious when you first started to take it, like where you were playing around with it, and then also when you took it serious. Yeah,
that was probably like 14, 15. Well, I started writing like in the notebook and like just like real to myself at like 13, 14, and then I got serious like 16, 17, and created Ultra at 17. So yeah, it got pretty serious pretty fast, I guess.
Did you have any initial like names? Like, did you have to do a name change, or like what was the first your first song title?
Nah, it was Demolition Dot at first. It was a Twitter name. Yeah, it was a Twitter name, Demolition Dot. One of the homies made Demolition Dot. I was like, nah, nigga, we using that. We just gonna switch it up, Dot Demo, and that's how that happened. But my name has been Dot since I was a child. Because I was always the shortest kid around a bunch of older, bigger dudes. So people used to call me like a Dot, like yo, Dot. And that's how that name came about.
Did that ever affect your mentality on the mic? Like, did you feel like you had to go harder because you were like the shortest kid or something?
No, it's the craziest thing. Like the name got started from one of my friend's grandmothers. Like one of my older friend's grandmothers. I used to go to their house a lot, and she used to always call me like Dot. Like, yo, you look like a little Dot compared to all of them or whatever. Rest in peace, Miss Harvey. She used to always like, yeah, you look like a little Dot compared to everybody. You look like a little Dot. And then like I used to hate the name until everybody used to like use it. Like, yo, Dot, yo, little Dot, yo, Dot, blah blah blah. And then that became a name. That became something I wanted to do.
Yeah, I feel like at some point you just gotta roll into the nickname, and like you can't. It becomes just like such a part of you. You can't get away from it.
Yeah, it was a street name. I hate people like, you hear the concept of like a lot of people who like make their own names. That was not this concept over here.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't make my own name. That's corny.
The thing I love about your projects is they're all like cohesive. Like OBE had a specific sound, and then I thought Nahforreal was a little like darker and stuff like that. I'm curious, like you still use different producers though. How do you find those? Like, is it digging through looking for a specific sound to find those similar vibes? I guess what's your process like?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of like look for the sound of the moment. Oh, not the sound of the moment being like meaning like what's hot at the moment, like the sound of the moment as far as like how we feeling, like what the vibe is, what's going on. So we'll find like the tempo or the beat or whatever from like some of the homies who send beats online. I mean, we used to do it online, but be very honest with y'all, But yeah, we'll find different kind of tempos based off of how we're feeling at the moment, and just like go about that. It's really like me, and then it became me and Ultra X, who was like we was finding sounds and finding situations for the time, for the emotion.
Mm-hmm. What was the emotion or the vibe, or like what were you feeling? I guess at the time when you recorded Nahforreal.
It was a little darker than OBE, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I was like, I guess I went through a little drinking situation, personal problems with the fam and stuff. Let's call this back. Personal problems with the fam and stuff. Little things like no. Yeah, little things with the fam and stuff that it just had to do with me having to really interpret that,
Mm-hmm. Was getting that project out and like dealing with those on wax like cathartic for you? Like, did you feel better after that? How do you feel once you're releasing a project that's like comes from that personal space?
Oh yeah, not to sound like a super cliche, but yeah, music is super therapeutic. Like once you have all of that stuff on your mind and on your chest, and you finally get it out on wax, and you can hear yourself back, kind of like saying it and like expressing yourself better. It feels better,
Mm-hmm.
To hear what you went through at that time, or what was going on in your mind at that time.
And I like the way like you actually released it. Like I saw you seemed like super loyal to like your day ones, and like you're releasing it on SoundCloud and YouTube and stuff, and then going to the platforms. I'm curious for you, like the decision about that, and then also like, is there a difference to like the music you're putting on SoundCloud? Do you feel like you're like the Spotify audience is different? I'm curious for you, like how you view the different platforms.
No, they're both the same. They all fans. They all fuck with the music. They all appreciate it, so we treat them the same. It has nothing to do with like one being a bigger platform than the other. Realistically, we just did it really because, we genuinely wanted the day one fans to like feel appreciated. I mean, I felt like like we said earlier, like I didn't drop music in 2 years, so the people who was like really into the music before was like a lot of SoundCloud fans. SoundCloud is like crazy, we like doing really good on SoundCloud, to a point. So I just wanted to make sure like those people who like got me from the ground level got me too, because we have a lot of subscribers and shit. So how that goes when you drop some shit, all the subscribers get it first. And I just wanted to make sure those first responders, those people who've been there got it. So it has nothing to do with like the platform being different. We look at it like the same shit, but I just wanted to get to the day ones first.
Word. What do you? We'll let you get out of here soon, but first I want to know sort of like what you got on the books for this year, what you're working on, what you're excited about. Yeah,
man. Delirium is about to drop. We're about to drop another project. I want to say next week, 18th. I want to say I didn't want to give that away, but you got the exclusives now. So the 18th, maybe we drop a Delirium tape, and it's consistency for the rest of 2019. A lot of videos, a lot of more projects, a lot of features, a lot of stuff. I feel like I have to overcompensate for the time loss.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to it. Before we let you get out of here, I got 3 random questions for you. First, you're going to like the gas station or the corner store. What are you picking up? Oh,
I'm grabbing some Fonto or some papers. Bob Marley's preferably some Raws. Some good Fonto out the sandwich bag. I don't want no Fonto out the sleeve, so we don't need that.
This one's like a two-parter. The person you would most like to be on an elevator, stuck on an elevator with, and the person you would least like to be stuck on an elevator with.
Oh, man, first person off the rip, Erykah Badu. Yeah, I'm getting stuck on the elevator with her for sure. Least person I want to be in an elevator with, who do I hate, man? Oh, man, what's homie name from Nicolas Cage? I hate Nicolas Cage, man. Shit. I would never want to be on the elevator with him. I would tell him how much I hate his ass.
Is there a reason behind that? That feels kind of random to just hate Nicolas Cage.
I don't know, man. I love movies. I just feel like he's a horrible actor.
That's fair. He is pretty terrible, but he's kind of like that good bad where you like don't know if you hate it because he's so. I guess you just hate it though.
I don't know, man. I think I would have an attitude with him, like off the rip. The minute I walk in, me and him have some words to say.
That kind of leads into the last one. If you could only watch one movie for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Man, that's hard. I love so many more. Oh, Black Dynamite. Oh, no, Anchorman. That's it, Anchorman. Yeah, Will Ferrell is one of my favorite actors ever made in life. Anchorman, I'm watching every single one of those.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us, and we're excited for what you got on the docket for 2019.
I appreciate you having this conversation. I wanted to talk to me, man. Thank you.
You're locked into Independent Grind on Dash Radio. Tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern for the latest hip-hop news, music, and interviews. Independent Grind only on Dash Radio, baby. Tech 9!
This is the genius, Chris Calico. Cali, baby. Letting you know you're tuned into Tech Nine's Independent Grind on Dash Radio.